So, hello and welcome to the Love is Summit. This is Erica Glessing. And today I think I'm really into being loved even though I'm not perfect. So, today I'm really sitting in this space of saying, what happens when we screw up? And what happens when we don't love perfectly and we don't get to be loved as well as we wanted to be loved when we were a kid. And it's like all those things have been jumbling in my head as I've been looking at the Love is Summit. And my guest today is a beautiful person inside and out, Aeriol Ascher. I met her, actually, she laughed on stage. She taught us how to laugh on stage. It was really fun. And just had to bring her back for some laughter and some joy. Thank you for coming, Aeriol.
How are you? I think you're confusing the laughter with a vocal exercise, actually. Yeah, I do teach vocal exercises. That's true.
It was ha ha ha.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, when I do that in front of groups, it actually the response is laughter, because people get really uncomfortable, because the voice, when people are paying attention to it, and 95% of the time people aren't paying attention to it, the voice is the signature of your soul, right? That's the vibrational quality that you're giving to the world. And so all of a sudden, when somebody says, make this noise or do this thing, our heads and our consciousness kick in and we get that self-consciousness. And so people get that like sort of nervous laughter, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting working around the voice. People are very guarded in their bodies as well as the expression. And when I talk about voice, I'm really not even talking about just the sound that comes out, because the voice starts in the consciousness, right? There's the inside voice and the outside voice. So when you're talking, or I don't know, our interview today is not about voice. To be talking about healing work, but since you brought it up, I just went on this little tangent. But when you're talking about the voice, it's very personal and really important. And I really, you were saying something about rapping earlier, and I absolutely encourage people to make up songs. The song that your soul loves the best is the one with your name in it. So I always, when I'm working with kids, I always encourage them to make up songs that have their name in it, right? And that sort of gives them that pump and that sort of self-esteem like that.
So if I was waking up and I didn't feel loved and I felt kind of mad at myself, what could you recommend to shift that energy bigger into that, that space? What could you do to shift that energy if you woke up? And, like the Love Summit, we talk about everyone being able to have love, whether they are loved or not by someone else. So maybe just share with us like what we can do to have more of the experience of that loving energy.
Well, first and foremost, I say, my work is all around healing the self, that spiritual, emotional, life force part of ourself, the very primal self. So self-love and is going to be our starting point no matter what. So you have to check in with yourself. But first you have to have the awareness. It's wonderful if you have an awareness that you're not loving yourself, because right then and there you can go, oh my gosh, that's unacceptable. We need to turn that around, right? But you just have to have that inciting moment where that awareness comes about. Otherwise, you could walk around all day and feel unloved.
Oh, that would be no fun at all, right?
Well, that's no good at all. So having a protocol definitely of self-love, whatever your self-care routine is. I do energy work. I always encourage people, first and foremost, you want to ground down into the planet. You want to connect up to your higher self and to your source energy. Open up your body language, whatever your yoga practice is, whatever your energetic practice is. Everybody has slightly different ways of doing things. I've studied a million things, and what I know is they're all the same, right? The real heart of the matter is you want to do it. You want to move your energy inside and out, move your consciousness, move your voice. Your question was, what do I do? Well, tell yourself you're awesome. Tell the negative sock puppet to go away. That part that's unloving, tell it to go away. There's no reason to stick around in that space. But like I said, first and foremost, it's the awareness of not feeling good.
Now,
That is actually something to celebrate.
Okay, so Aeriol, you've done workshops even around angels. So if I have listeners from this summit that would like to have more connection with angels, or have what are some steps someone can take to, have some of that angelic guidance?
Well, I really like to tell people when they're first starting out, and they don't know anything about angels, masters, or guides, after they get in this vessel of themselves, to invite their angels, masters, and guides around them. Or their dog totems. Thank you, Ziggy, for interrupting.
Yes, dogs always start talking when I'm around, so I'll just say hi.
Hi, Ziggy.
Hi.
He's quite noisy, so hopefully he won't overpower our interview, our time here. The angel that I like to work with when people are just starting out is Archangel Michael. And now the reason that I like Michael is because it's that protective energy. And
Aeriol, let's take a little.
So what I like to do is I like to call in Archangel Michael. And what I like to ask Michael to do is to go ahead and vacuum out or suck out. I always kind of visualize him with one of those Ghostbuster backpacks on, so that he comes and he kind of gets everything out of your space. Archangel Michael is also excellent at putting up protective grids around your home, in your office. I ask Archangel Michael to put a protective grid over my car. I also make sure that every portal in my house, I ask Archangel Michael to put a protective grid so that when people walk through that grid, that they are cleansed of any negativity that might interrupt with my happy place, my space, and my sacred space in my home, so that it's in a sort of automatic cleansing. Now, I do this on the micro level. I'll do it in my office. I do it in my home. I do it in the whole house, the whole block, the whole city. You can zoom up as much as you want. But this sort of protective energy and clearing energy that's possible when communicating with Archangel Michael or working with Michael energy, I think is really, really important. A second angel that I would always bring in is Metatron. Okay, now Metatron is one of the angels that actually wasn't always an angel. Metatron was actually the prophet Enoch, and Enoch rose into the angelic kingdom. So he ascended because of his very austere lifestyle. Apparently he was a really good person, right? But he ascended into the heavens. Now this is only important because you will I tell you this only because you can understand the function of Archangel Michael a little bit better. Archangel Michael Metatron, oversees sort of the checks and balances of things. He helps us take the big picture and sort of break it down into little chunks. So I know a lot of entrepreneurs are super duper creative. And Metatron, as Michael clears negative energy, Metatron can help light the path of the little bite-sized steps, the things that you can do to either achieve your goals or to heal yourself, right? He kind of helps you with action plans. Coincidentally, Archangel Metatron is also an angel who works with special children. And by that, I mean the crystal children and the rainbow children and the indigo children who actually who are coming onto the planet and who have new ways of thinking, right? They're shaking up the status quo, thank goodness, because it needs a little bit of shaking, right? But Archangel Metatron is the one that we work with when we want to really shine a attention on and nurture that sort of inner child, that I call it the inner crystal child, right? It's sort of the really tender, sensitive parts of ourselves that in your case, when you're saying that you wake up and you don't love yourself, it's that kind of energy. Archangel Metatron can give that little baby inside crystal child little micro steps in what to do in order to heal. And
Okay.
if that means having an orange sucker or getting $1 and going to the dollar store and buying stickers or whatever, whatever it is that that you can do to heal yourself. So calling on Metatron would be something that you could do with that.
So then I have a question for you. Yeah, because I like to go back and forth a little bit. And I wanted to see if we could do the voice that we opened up with, and then the angels, and then the energy of love. What can someone do to like bring love in a space like with their voice? Do you know what I'm asking? Like what if we asked our voice to even be more of a catalyst to generate more love vibrations on the planets? What shows up for you when I ask that? Because I think you're sort of at that beautiful space of where those things all come together.
Well, the first thing that I recommend that people do is you have to use your voice. What you want to do first to warm up your voice and to get to know your voice is while you're doing your daily practice or meditation. I was just about to bring in Archangel Sandalphon, which has to do with vibrational healing and music, coincidentally. So what you would do then is simply hum is the best way to get to know your voice, and to do some humming. Okay. Sirens are also very good. What you want to do is you want to go up into the head voice. And you then feel it slide down all the way into the chest and down into the body, using the whole body to vibrate. In order to do this, you need to have a daily protocol of vocal exercises. Humming is a great way to begin. I always recommend that people spend some time every day with their vowels. You don't need to have any special mantras in other languages and everything. You can really just use your vowels. A, E, Ah, O, Ooh. All of these vowels are formed with different musculature inside of your soft palate there, and you'll feel the vibration in a different place, right? You said earlier to me that you thought you could rap because you didn't have to sing in tune. So rap is about percussive movement and language, right? Bringing it in. So that's all well and good. You would want to do your vowels if you were going to start rapping in order to get your articulation really working. But if you wanted to sing or in tune, and actually I invite you to do it because I don't believe that you can't sing in tune. I just don't think that there's anybody on the planet who actually can't. I think that is a myth, but that's just my personal opinion. But these sirens, sliding all the way down, sliding the sound, and getting to know your voice. That means that you have to be sensitive inside. You feel the musculature. It's very subtle, subtle, subtle energy. You have to make sure that your body is also in a good position so that the sound and energy resonates. So putting your head above your shoulders, opening up your body posture, all of these things are going to help out if you want to create a good sound. But back to the most important point, the way that you can improve your voice is to be aware of your voice and to use your voice intentionally. I would bring that into any mindfulness meditation practice.
Awesome. And what else would you like to share with our listeners?
Well, I had started earlier. I wanted to tell you about one more angel because it really
Okay.
correlates. And actually, Metatron and Sandalphon actually worked together, and they were brothers on Earth. They were the two angels that were actually. Legend has it that they were both men, and they arose to the angelic kingdom, and they kind of work together. If you're talking about the law of attraction, you're going to want to employ both of these angels. This is important, super tip alert for all you metaphysicians out there. When you use these two together, they actually in the energy field, when they come work with us, they activate what is called the wave of Metatron. Now, I'm not sure why Metatron got to have the wave of Metatron and not the wave of Sandalphon, but these two guys work together with this in light body. Sandalphon is sort of he's known as the angel of music. Now, he was actually the prophet Elijah, okay? And he also represents gentleness, okay? Represents that soft gentleness. We talked earlier about that inner sort of crystal child, inner child. And Sandalphon helps you get more aware of those subtle energies, the vibration, okay? So when you're doing your humming, when you're practicing your vowels to clean out your voice and to clear your voice, it's those subtle energies, right, that you can tune into inside, that changes the tone of your voice, right? Also, Sandalphon is the one who takes these vibrations and these tones of our intentions that we've formulated with our voice and our thoughts and delivers them to the Creator, right? So he's a messenger in a different way than a lot of people consider Archangel Gabriel sort of a messenger, but Sandalphon is a messenger in a different way, not communicating with like blowing a horn and waking us up, but the subtle messages, right? So think of when you're in meditation, or when you get those subtle bubble ups of information, or when you notice something in your body. It's these subtle energies. And rightfully so, he's the archangel of music, right? And when you're listening to a really beautiful piece of music, if you really allow yourself to listen, right, which so many of us put music on and it's in the background and we're not really paying attention to it. But if you allow yourself to journey into that music and experience that vibration, then there's no way that you can't feel love or joy or whatever is going on in that piece of music, right? So when you ask me what's the best thing to get into this loving energy, is to find some music that you find really loving and supportive, gentle, like lullabies. It's great to meditate with lullabies. That'll bring up a lot of stuff. You may even weep, right? But it's going to clear all those channels out. Nice. So that you can put positive energy in there. So using that gentle energy, right? And what do I want to say there? Yeah, it's that gentle energy, not that like loud wake up energy. It's that gentle energy that can really get in there.
Okay. Wonderful. So some of the other guests so far on the summit have done a guided thing, a little guidance, like a little meditation at the end of the interview.
Awesome. Would you like to do that?
Well, I was just thinking, I have a gifted guide here, and I might as well ask you. The only thing I'm going to say to the audience, if you're listening, well, obviously you're listening or you wouldn't be the audience, would be not to be driving now. If we're going to do a meditation part, then I ask you to not be doing something with machinery.
Please do not operate heavy machinery.
Please do not operate heavy
machinery. The next portion of our...
So I'm going to go ahead and mute me, Aeriol, and I'm going to let you just guide the audience through a meditation. And I know it'll just be perfect because, well, how could it be otherwise?
How awesome. Yes. Well, and thank you so much. So during my ramblings here with you, Erica, we've invoked Archangel Michael for protection. We've invoked Archangel Metatron for checks and balances, helping us really see the big picture and all the details, and Sun Dolphin for that beautiful, gentle energy. So let's just sit with those energies. And I want you to breathe deeply into your body now, taking a deep breath in through your nose. And just hold that a second. And then we're going to exhale with an H sound. We don't want to forget this H sound. It's very important because it does actually activate a different part of your brain than just exhaling. So we really want to audibly hear it. So let's just do 2 more of those breaths, breathing in. Hold that and let's do 1 more of those breaths together, breathing in. Hold that and exhale. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that there is a big, huge faucet over your head, okay? I'm very cartoony in my imagery, so a lot of people like that. I hope it works for you guys. So I want you to imagine that there's a big, huge faucet over your head. And when I say 3, we're going to turn the faucet on, and out of this faucet is going to come the most beautiful, glorious, golden healing light. Okay, we're going to turn the faucet on, not yet. We're going to turn the faucet on, and it's going to come down through our crown, through our head, and well up in the chalice that is our heart. Okay, we're going to clear out our heart here. So when I say 3, we're going to turn that faucet of golden, beautiful, healing light on. 1, 2, 3. Now just allow that faucet to turn on, and we're going to allow that golden healing energy to come into your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. Allow it to come down and fill up a chalice in your heart. Just allowing that energy to fill up. And I want you to let that fill up until it fountains over, dripping over, just letting it fountain, just covering your whole body in that beautiful, loving light, allowing the heart to fill up. Now, if there's anybody that you can think of that can use some extra loving energy, even if it's yourself, I want you to imagine that they are in front of you. From the excess of that beautiful heart healing energy, I want you to give them one tiny strand. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, bing! Right over into their heart. Now this is just from the excess. Breathe deeply, just allowing that connection, just sharing that universal life and love energy. Look deeply into their eyes, whether it's somebody that has hurt you, whether it's your mother, your father, your spouse, your inner child. And I want you to look at them deeply and just say, only love is real. I love you. Just allow that communion. And notice their energy becoming full and alive with that communion. This is just from the excess, from that beautiful fountain that you've accessed. When you're ready and the process is complete, go ahead and put your hands over your heart, stopping the flow from your heart to theirs. Continue allowing that beautiful life force energy to come in through your crown, overflowing in your heart. We're just shutting off the cord that goes to them. You can allow them to step aside, be with yourself for just one moment, enjoying that energy for one moment longer, allowing it to just permeate every single cell of your body. And when you're full to the point of overflowing, I want you to imagine that you can go ahead and turn that faucet off. You can come back to that anytime, accessing that golden love, light, healing energy anytime you like. Cleaning out any negativity, cleaning out any discordant thoughts, any outmoded beliefs. That's available to you anytime. Take a deep breath into your body. Hold that just for a second. And as you exhale, go ahead and come back present. All right. So that fountain of universal life force energy is available to you any time of day. Any time of day. And something that's important about accessing that is that we don't want to be communicating with others by depleting ourselves or giving of ourselves. We actually want to give from the excess of that energy, so that you don't deplete your own physical body or your own emotional body.
That's amazing. Thank you for that beautiful meditation. And why don't you let people know how they can reach you and find out more?
Well, I would love if you would stop by my website. It's AeriolAscher.com. Let me spell that. It's AERIOL, Ascher, ASCHER.com. And I have a wonderful, wonderful special going on at my website right now. So if you go to my shop at my website, I do have an info bundle for everyone. It's a great starting place if you're really trying to embrace your spirituality. It is an info bundle that is on developing self-awareness and loving yourself. And there are 4 ebooks in this bundle, and in this bundle, I really talk about the different aspects of self, right? Because we all know self-care is not what you had for lunch. Self-care is how well you're taking care of yourself, not just what you're eating or how many times you're visiting the gym, but how much time you're spending meditating and how you feel emotionally. It's all these different wonderful facets of yourself, right? So I really talk about that. And in the ebook, Developing Self-Awareness, we really get into some of the fine points of the law of attraction and how to start using metaphysics and positive thoughts to really create the reality that you walk in.
All righty. Thank you so much for coming, Aeriol. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too. And I appreciate all your listeners.